Tradition's heartland like mom's apple pies. It's pure Americana. Hides on your fries.
And welcome into a Yinzer Crazy special announcement show. My name is Mike, and I am super thrilled to be here with you today. I am the co-founder of Yinzercrazy.com and the popular Pittsburgh podcast, The Yinzer Crazy Show. And you know what? It is time for a new edition. In fact, it is well overdue. Cinco de Mayo is just a handful of weeks away. So without further ado, I think it's time we introduce you guys to the Yinzeritas. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hey.
Everybody doing well?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Good. I love to hear it. And Lexi, let's see that Jeff Goldblum pillow one more time before we get started. All right. Now you know they're officially Pittsburghers and that they've got some serious Pittsburgh qualities. We're going to get to know the cast of Yinzeritas in more detail in just a second. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about what you can expect from this show moving forward. So Yinzeritas will be airing on our YouTube channel. You can follow us at Yinzer Crazy on YouTube. Please subscribe to our channel. It's free, obviously, so that's a perk in the first place. It doesn't cost any money for you. And of course, you're going to expect giveaways this week, all kinds of fun things leading up to the first show of Yinzeritas. So make sure that you're subscribed to us and them on YouTube so you're ready at the start of their first episode. What can you expect weekly? Well, I think a lot of what Yinzer Crazy is here to generally offer, which is relatable content, fun Pittsburgh sports content, and at times maybe even a little crazy, in all honesty. I mean, it's literally in the name. So just like we provide you on the podcast and show, it's not just going to be hosts, but we're also going to display and have on some of the best guests in Pittsburgh. In terms of sports personalities, you might have an occasional rapper on the show every now and then. The best really that the city of Bridges has to offer, we're going to bring to you, just like we've consistently done on Yinzer Crazy, and now we're moving it to Yinzeritas. The Steel City has so much talent to offer up, and I'll tell you what, we've got it in spades with this group right here, which is why I'm super thrilled to introduce them. Let's meet the team. And actually, you know what? I'm going to start with Lexi. Because of the Jeff Goldblum pillow, I already came to you. So you can start maybe with a backstory on that, but just do us a favor and tell everybody about yourself.
There is a good backstory on this pillow. But hi, everyone. I'm Lexi. I'm from the South Hills of Pittsburgh originally. I am a proud Peters Township graduate. I won't say when I graduated to age myself, but I am a former athlete myself. I was a above average basketball player, and Pittsburgh sports is just in my DNA. Both sides of my family grew up in Pittsburgh. It's mostly men. So I'm the youngest of three girls. And so my dad pretty much was like, nope, this is my boy. Grew up a big tomboy. So I played pretty much every sport you could play as a female. And I loved it. I'd rather go to a sporting event over anything else pretty much. I also worked in Major League Baseball for the past 13 seasons. It's super big passion of mine. I have fun every day and I would not trade it for the world. And I am super happy to be a Yinzer.
That is incredible. We didn't get the Jeff Goldblum backstory though.
The Jeff Goldblum story. So working for the Pittsburgh Pirates has its perks. So one time there was some box of mystery leftover prizes. If you guys are familiar, every game they do the box of mystery. This was just something that didn't get picked and got dibs. I was like, what are you doing with that pillow? Because I want it. And they were gracious enough for me to have it. So he's been with me for a couple years now.
Wow. Well, when you say you wouldn't trade any of it for the world, I'd imagine that Jeff Goldblum pillow is also included because that is literally the world on your couch there. It's pretty.
I know.
Cool.
I mean, I've gotten to meet and interact with a lot of cool people, but I definitely get the most about this pillow.
I love it. That's all great stuff, Lexi. We're looking forward to obviously having you part of the team. And we think it's going to be a lot of fun because people will get to talk to both you and Jeff Goldblum on these interviews. I'm sure celebrities will be thrilled for that. Let's move on to Jane, who obviously has a ton of Pittsburgh ties. She's joining us today. She does not have a Jeff Goldblum pillow, but that's okay because she's got a ton of good stuff. Jane, tell everybody about yourself.
Hello. I am Jane. I am actually from South Carolina. I moved up to Pittsburgh a few years ago, where I've worked with multiple sports teams in Pittsburgh area. I love Pittsburgh. I think it's an amazing city. The sports are absolutely incredible. But I have to say the number one thing is the fans. The fans in Pittsburgh I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. You go over to North Shore, thousands of people roaming the streets on boats, in cars, on bikes, you name it. Yeah, number one, fans. So I'm super, super excited to be a part of this show, to connect, not only with guests, but our fans, and really have that relationship to hear more from y'all. So I'm super, super excited to be a part of Yinzer Crazy.
And I'm glad that my foam finger didn't throw you off. Yes, I am. I am 31 years old and I still have a foam finger collection. So,
I love it.
Which I don't admit, but of course for this special teaser episode of Yinzeritas, all hands on deck, everything's coming out. All right. Our last, of course, but not least member of this three-man weave, and which is also a quartet. We'll also tell you a little bit about Alicia later, is none other than Taylor. And Taylor, I tell you what, you win the prize so far of sickest Pittsburgh backdrop, because you got the Minka Fitzpatrick jersey going on back there. You got a football, I think I see, and some other good stuff. I also noticed that you changed your Twitter handle probably like 3 times this past weekend, which gave me a chuckle. I know that was a lot I'm covering, but first start just by telling people a little about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So the Twitter handle thing is kind of a running gag with me. Anybody who follows me on there is going to notice that. But hi, I'm Taylor Carson. I am not currently working in sports in any way. I actually work for Westminster College. I was born in Pittsburgh, ended up moving north to that area and have kind of stayed up there. But I have loved Pittsburgh sports my entire life. I was raised on it. I was one of those kids who, as soon as I fit normal sized clothes, my parents were putting me in like all the Steelers cheerleading uniforms and everything. So lots of fun, embarrassing pictures with that. But just about any way you can imagine, Pittsburgh has kind of been a part of my life. So I will follow any and all sports related to that. But yeah, I've got a lot of Pittsburgh gear. It might end up cycling out throughout this, so stay tuned for some fun things. I probably have a million different Phil Kessel things. So bobblehead back there. Stay tuned. Not as good as Jeff Goldblum, obviously, because, I love him to death, but Phil's pretty great.
Awesome stuff. I also never regularly admit on camera that my parents also used to dress me up in Steelers cheerleading gear. But that's something I'm going to have to take up with them, I think, at the end of this show. Taylor, can we maybe at some point, not anytime soon, or it doesn't have to be anytime soon, I should say, but maybe we'll get a Twitter handle changed to Taylor Loves Yinzeritas or something of that nature. You never know.
Yeah, you'll have to wait and see. I'm sure it'll be something, but
that's good. That's called a teaser in the business. And so look at you. You're already a sports broadcasting pro, blossoming before our eyes. Really impressive stuff. All right. That was all cool stuff. We got to know Jeff Goldblum and Taylor's family photos, history growing up. But now I want to have a little bit of fun, of course. And you know what? We'll switch the order up, but I want to do a little this or that. And when I was thinking of this or that, I was like, you know what? That sounds a lot like Yins and Ats. So I need to come up with maybe a creative name around that you guys can do for the show. I think Yins and At is getting close, but it doesn't necessarily describe a this or that thing. So we'll keep it. We'll call it the Yins and At this or that for now. You guys cool with that?
Love it.
All right. Well, let's get started. We'll start with the layup, and we're going to go reverse order. So Taylor, Jane, Lexi on this one for now. And like I said, we'll pitch you a softball first and foremost. We're trying to get the viewers to help know you guys. So we'll just start with beer or wine.
Oh, okay. So I love both. Disclaimer, not picky with the alcohol, but I have to pick beer.
Fair enough.
I would definitely say wine. Big red wine girl.
And I am also wine, and I'm a white wine girl.
There we
Nice.
go.
I will make this a push at a tie 2-2 because I'm beer, because I really know nothing about wine. And you know what? I get made fun of constantly by people who actually do like wine, because every time I will have wine, I'm like, I only like it if it's white and if it's sweet. And they're like, you definitely don't like wine then.
Yeah,
you
Because
don't.
That sounds like a
That's
headache.
not it.
yeah, it's like a $6
that sounds
bottle
like-
of Moscato
yeah.
or something like that. And that's the only thing that is palatable to me. So I might as
Hard
well
pass.
just drink a really high sugar apple juice or something. But
Yeah.
I don't like wine, I guess. But that's all good stuff. All right, now we're going to get a little more specific and maybe some more difficult, challenging questions. I think I already know the answer that Lexi is going to give on this one, but I'll propose it anyway to Taylor once more to start. PNC Park or Heinz Field?
Oh gosh. So I'm gonna pick PNC just because of that view. Like, you can't do any better. Heinz forever has my heart, but yeah, nothing tops that overlook of the city.
I'm gonna have to second that. I mean, there's really nothing better than that view. Love Heinz Field, but PNC definitely.
Obviously. And for all the viewers that are like, well, the Steeler game is better than a Pirate game, I was at the AFC Championship game against the Steelers and Patriots, and I was at the 2013 wild card game against the Reds. Hands down, it's PNC Park during that type of environment. Hands down.
I love that. And you know what? I agree. In terms of scenery, you can't beat PNC Park. And you're right. Heinz generally does get propped up because of the atmosphere. But I'll always tell everybody for the rest of my life that no sporting event will ever top that wild card game in 2013, the Reds wild card game. Nothing, ever.
Nothing.
All right. It's a clean sweep on that one then. Sorry, Heinz Field, and no disrespect to Jane's brothers. I also want to keep the Pittsburgh theme going. As we talk food, which is going to get me hungry because I'm a late dinner eater, so I have not eaten dinner today as we continue to film this. And I want to ask, Permanis or Pamela's, are you? And listen, here's the challenge here: is that one is obviously known a little bit more for breakfast. One is more of a lunch or a dinner spot, unless you are a serial killer and you're just eating Permani sandwiches at like 7 a.m. for breakfast. Or maybe that just makes you a true Pittsburgher. Nonetheless, Taylor, Permani's or Pamela's?
I wish you didn't start with me for this. So don't hate me. I haven't been to Pamela's yet. I know it's crazy because I've lived here like my whole life. It's on my list post-pandemic. Well, not post-pandemic, I guess. Once I'm fully vaccinated, top of the list to go there. So I have to pick Permani's, but maybe it'll change. I'm a big Guy Fieri fan, so I'll post my review and keep you guys updated.
I love the honesty there before we get to Jane, because I probably would have just lied. I haven't had Pamela's too many times. It might be 3 or 4, but I really appreciate that honesty. Jane, go ahead.
Okay. I think I'm Permani's #1 fan. I moved up to Pittsburgh and I had one of those sandwiches and it was game over. Like, I was craving those things like twice a week. I was like walking down the south side. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to get one of those. And I mean, I know I said I was a wine girl, but like a cold beer and one of those Permani sandwiches, game over. So Permani's all the way.
Totally agree. I'm a Permani's girl, and I've been to Pamela's a dozen times. Pamela's not even my favorite breakfast spot in this city. So it's not. You gotta dig real deep to find the good ones. Although it's always the ones that don't have multiple locations. You gotta go to those ones that are just real underground, real not packed, not the touristy type places. You have to go to those ones. And I will eat a Permani sandwich dead sober. So
Me too.
That's just
For breakfast. For breakfast.
I would probably eat
I'm
one
7
for, like,
a.m.
lunch.
We're all serial killers. It's fine.
Yeah.
Good call. We'll have to do an
Yinzeritas,
episode.
watch out.
We'll have to do a full episode on underground brunch spots then.
I would love to. I would do that
Yes.
I would do it for every meal because I have a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's terrific. I think a literal underground one that I always liked was the Yard in Shadyside. That's a terrific brunch spot if anybody has ever been there. And the first reason I thought of it is because we used to said underground, and I think it does have a little
You literally go down steps
there that you
great.
go under. I'm going to disagree with you guys here though, and I might literally lose Yinzer crazy entirely by talking crap on Permanis. I am a fan, don't get me wrong, but I have told a lot of visitors that for me, it's a bit overrated. And if you want to close out your Zoom now, I get it. But at the end of the day, I'm a mayonnaise creamy sandwich type person. So for me, they come across as a little dry. I'd rather have a Pepe's Italian sub covered in mayo, oil, and vinegar. The coleslaw, I'm a creamy coleslaw guy, not a vinegar coleslaw guy. I know it's impossible. I'm wearing a 412 shirt and I have a terrible towel behind me. And I'm talking crap on Permanis right now. It really doesn't add up. But it's not my favorite sandwich in town. And I would honestly sometimes rather have the pizza or wings. So maybe
The pizza is very good.
The pizza's good.
The pizza's very good at Permanis.
There are no losers in this conversation. That is for sure. All right. Another place that there are rarely any losers is Kennywood. And this was a great idea thrown out by one of you guys. I can't take credit for it. I think it was Taylor. So of course we'll start with you. And you know what? This one is a bit more open-ended, but we'll start with everybody's two favorite roller coasters are the Jackrabbit and the Thunderbolt. I think the Phantom's Revenge is still going, right? It's still up and running, but but it's not. Yeah. Is it anybody's favorite? I don't know. We'll get to it, Taylor.
Yeah, me. That ride is very good.
That's my favorite ride.
Oh, it's so you can't go wrong at Kennywood.
If we're talking classics, Taylor's two are good. If we're talking
that's the difference too. So like Thunderbolt, that was like the first roller coaster that I was obsessed with. So, you know, Kennywood being the hometown park, I could ride that thing 80 million times. That first drop that just catches you so off guard. I love it. Phantom's Revenge is great. You know, we have a whole Steelers themed world in Kennywood now, and that's great too. But gotta go traditional, gotta go with the rickety wooden ones.
So I have only been to Kennywood a few times since, you know, I've recently moved to Pittsburgh. But I would have to say, I don't know. I think I'm either one. Like I don't have a Phantom's Revenge. Like if I'm going down that would definitely be it. Besides that, I mean, don't really have a favorite, so I can't even pick.
I have yet to ride the new, Steel Curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been on that one, but if I'm picking between the Jackrabbit and the Thunderbolt, I'm going Jackrabbit. It's just so unique. And the Thunderbolt, if you're not careful, you could throw a concussion, you know. So I feel like I'm going to break a bone every time I'm on the Thunderbolt. So I'm Jackrabbit. So that's my favorite. And I think the Jackrabbit was my first roller coaster because you can be pretty much a toddler and go on that ride. So I'm pretty sure that was my first roller coaster was the Jackrabbit.
Wow, that's not a good thing for the Jackrabbit that they're.
I know. I'm like that's kind of sketchy because you can literally fly out. But I guess
that's the fun of it. The bunny.
I know. I guess
you just fly.
Yeah, it's the risk. We love it. Yeah. You might fall out. You might not. We're here for it.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's fine.
It is a terrific
message. Don't ask questions. It's fine.
That's going to be your guys' slogan at the end of the day for Yinzeritas. It's going to be a risk. It's a lot of fun. Enter at your own risk type deal. And I think it's a great fitting little slogan there. Funny story on my end. So I'm down here in Florida, and I was at Disney recently and I rode Jurassic Park, and I just can't get Jeff Goldblum off my mind.
Oh my gosh, yes. Do you want it? I was just going to put him here.
Thanks. That you know what, he should take my place if anything, because I'm sure people are if we can get Jeff. I'm not ruling this out, Lexi. I am not.
If we can get Jeff on this show, I'm
telling you, you just started. Jordan, my co-founder, and I will be now working on that. No promises to anybody out there.
I could maybe I can reach out to some PR contacts and see if they can get him on here.
Stay tuned. That's all we'll say. It's another good teaser.
I actually met him on the streets in New York City one time. I lived in New York City for about 6 months, and he was walking in front of me, and we stop at a crosswalk, and I just look up at him and I'm like, that's Jeff Goldblum. And he's so casual. And I just looked at him and I was like, hey, And he was just like, hey, how are you? Like, I don't get starstruck. And that's the only thing I could think about saying was hi. I didn't even say like Jeff Goldblum. I was just like, hey,
Sup?
it could not have been him, but I swear on everything it was him.
I am crazy, and I'm one of those people who I'd go to like Jeff Goldblum Day, hoping like by some miracle I'd see him, and I'd be, knowing my luck, like sitting there getting a tattoo or something and making him deeply uncomfortable. So, you know, two sides of the spectrum here.
Was Jeff Goldblum hunting velociraptors in New York?
No, he just lives there.
Wow.
He was just walking.
So you're telling me Jurassic Park isn't real?
I mean, it's not confirmed or denied.
All right, fair enough. All right, last question, and I mean this: Pittsburgh's Wiz Khalifa or Pittsburgh's Jordan York? All right, I got no response.
We're like, are we
love
Jordan.
It's not a trick question. We obviously Wiz has the city on lockdown, but we love Jordan just as much. We're shouting him out because he's a big part of what we do over here at Yinzeritas. All right, I think that was a lot of fun, and we got to learn a lot about the cast and the team of Yinzeritas, Lexi, Jane, and Taylor. And I want to just tell you guys to obviously, one, subscribe to the YouTube over at Yinzeritas, and do us a favor and tell a friend about Yinzeritas. This really awesome team of individuals that we've compiled for you that are going to put together some fun content that has Pittsburgh sports fans, that will have Pittsburgh sports fans, reaching for another glass of crappy white wine like I drink, or I'm sure they're drinking a lot better. Maybe an extra icy light, I should say, as they get ready to go on the Jackrabbit, just hopefully without their 3-year-old. So yeah, that does it for this teaser episode. We're going to reveal some stuff all week. I want you guys to follow us at Yinzeritas Show. And of course, we're going to talk to Taylor, Jane, and Lexi and get you some of their socials potentially as well, if they're interested in having that being reciprocated in terms of some following, going back and forth there a little bit. We'll obviously have a first show reveal coming up relatively soon as well. So we're excited about that. It's not going to be Jeff Goldblum, sorry, but maybe he could be down the line at some point. All right, this has been a ton of fun. Like I said, it's a great idea of what to expect moving forward. Enter at your own risk. Yinzeritas, they're here. The Yinzeritas Show. We're number one fan, that's for sure. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
See ya.